Paschatya Prachitarane Visvacharya Pavaryaya Divyakarunya Murtaye Sri Bhagavata Madhurya Gita Jnana Pradayine Gaura Sri Rupa Siddhanta Saraswati Nishevine Radha Krishna Palambojo Vrindaya Gurave Namah. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Tirubhava Mahamahotsava Ki Jai.
Vigraha, Nyasi, Maharaj.
Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Srila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay. Positive and progressive immortality, Sri Sri Prapana Jivanamritam, life nectar of the surrendered souls. By the grace of Srila Guru Maharaj, we get to read this summary of the process of surrender. And this is like one of Srila Guru Maharaj's major blessings. And we'll read a few of this, and then we'll read something from Search for Sri Krishna and talk about the glories of Srila Guru Maharaj and how he's, delivered to us the means through which we can begin the surrendering process in a very, very deep and genuine way in the struggle of the clearing stage, the middle stage. He's given us understanding and direction and light ahead of us. He's kind of clearing the way ahead of us through the darkness of not realizing our real self as yet, but kind of knowing that the real self is there, and wanting to leave behind the old self, but not really quite being able to. So Guru Maharaj comes and specifically in my case, and indirectly in everybody's case, I think, we go to Srila Sridhar Maharaj by the direction of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And in that arrival of the devotees from Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, as Srila Govinda Maharaj told us, Sri Guru Maharaj began to open up in a very detailed and powerful way, which he had never done before. And Srila Govinda Maharaj told us this was a result of Srila Guru Maharaj's feeling the necessity of service to his Guru Maharaj as given to him by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. It was like a direct, reciprocal exchange, a feeling of the real necessity of it. And of course for us it was absolutely necessary, because without Srila Prabhupada we were just, many of us were just drifting, because he just kept us very protected. And again, we found the shelter of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. It was just complete kind grace by his part that he, and also it was the behind-the-scenes work of Srila Govinda Maharaj, always encouraging Srila Guru Maharaj to, come out and give himself more and more in connection with the aspiring Vaishnavas. Okay, so we're on chapter 5, verse 9. And after having just read 2 verses by Kulishekar Maharaj, the great, Alwar from the area of Trivandrum in Kerala, I think like 5th or 6th century, really early times. He was speaking, we're reading his Sanskrit verses, but, he also delivered things in the local language, which is kind of a hallmark of the Alwars, who are early, preachers of mostly direct Krishna consciousness. some including Vishnu, which later was established firmly by Ramanujacharya, the disciple of Jamunacharya. So anyway, we heard from Kulashekar Maharaj about surrendering, and we heard from Bhaktivinoda Thakur an analysis of of what the process of being dependent and confident that the Lord will always protect us. What's the Sanskrit for that? I forget. Rakshishyatiti vishvasaha. Rakshishyatiti, that's the Lord will always protect us, and visvasaha, confidence. We have this visvas, confidence that somehow or other, by the grace, only by the grace of our gurus, and in this case, reading these things, particularly the holy grace of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that we have access to this ideal of being confident in the protection of the Lord always. That in spite of our distractions, the Lord will help us and will always keep us close. And the only thread that holds us is, of course, the mercy of our gurus, and the way in which we connect to our gurus, like hold on to the rope that they've extended to us, is through feeling and developing inner dependency and necessity and urgency, and through that feeling we retain our connection. Lol Yam, given by Rupa Goswami, and emphasized also by Srila Prabhupada in his summary of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Nectar of Devotion. So, okay, Guru Maharaj tells us in this 9th verse, his summary is, Sri Hari awards a divine destination to even his enemy. So we have experience from the pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam, and the pastimes that have been, passed down to us in the form of some other transcendental literature about Vrindavan. We hear about Krishna's pastimes, and he's so kind that not only does he help in the deliverance of those who are, really actually trying to surrender to him, but he even helps the demons who are his enemies. So that this is like Uddhava here is telling us, probably from the 11th canto, I think the Uddhava Gita is there. He's telling us how Krishna always will take care of us and protect us, bringing within this context the understanding that, if Krishna protects the demons, he'll protect us. So Guru Maharaj's summary, the Sanskrit, Sva Shatrave Pi Sadgati Dayako Harihi. Again, Sri Hari awards a divine destination to even his enemy. And Uddhava, Srimad Uddhava says, how astonishing when Putana, the wicked sister of Bakasura, tried to kill child Krishna by offering him deadly poison on her breast. She reached a position befitting the Lord's nursemaid. Could I ever have a merciful of a shelter as that Lord Krishna? Srimad Uddhava. So Putana tries to kill Krishna with poison on her breast, but she's nursing him. So Krishna sees that action, even though, who knows what's there in her heart. She's trying to kill him because she has this feeling that he's an enemy. But, she's thinking of Krishna. So because of the power of the name of Krishna and the personality of Krishna, which is non-different from himself, is the transcendental form, which is like non-different from reality itself. she's kind of entered into that, that mood. Even as an enemy, Krishna accepts that as, you know, as devotion and elevates even his enemies. So, you know, the idea is, I think we kind of hear this and imbibe this and you know, see the mercy of Krishna in action, and by like hearing it and taking it in to our hearts, we you know, develop this. We increasingly develop this understanding that Krishna will always protect us. So let's see. The Sanskrit from Uddhava. Aho bhakti yam stana kala klutam jigham shaya pa shayad up yasad tavi. Sorry. Le begatim dat uchitam taho nyam kamva dayalam sharanam brajena. Sharanam brajena. That merciful shelter. Mame kam sharanam braja. Again, the Sanskrit about shelter, but you know, directly we hear Braja is the Vrindavan, is the shelter. That is the reality. That is, you know, the shelter is not just a what's the word? I forget. You know, it's not just a philosophical concept. It's a real thing. It's a place. You know, it's not, when we take shelter of Krishna, it has to do with, you know, a kind of conscious mentality that we're trying to adopt. But, you know, in fact, that consciousness, that Krishna consciousness, is manifest in a place with a personality who's taking different loving roles, and that devotion that's like now just awakening in us actually takes a form and engages in transcendental relation with the Lord. So this is you know, this is the context in which Uddhava is like presenting this. That, you know, don't worry, he's even saving the demons. So we'll do one more, then we'll read something from Search for Sri Krishna. Okay, number 10. Confidence in the Lord's pastimes, the life nectar of the surrendered souls. This is from Sri Jamunacharya. Sri Jamunacharyasya. Okay, Guru Maharaj's summary. The reservoir of hope for even the unqualified. So Yamunacharya was a great Vaishnava, the guru of Ramanujacharya, who established the Sri Sampradaya and wrote an analysis of interpretation of Vedanta Sutra, the first one to challenge Shankaracharya's interpretation. His was called Vishishta Advaita, which means duality in oneness, difference in oneness. So he's saying, okay, we're persons, and the Supreme Lord, in his case, is Vishnu, and the associate is Sri, who is, you know, a manifestation of Srimati Radharani, and also they worship Bhudevi as an associate of Vishnu. This, you know, the goddess of the planet Earth, as a consort of Vishnu. So this is the manifestation of the teachings of Jamunacharya that came to us from Ramanujacharya. Okay, so Jamunacharya says in this regard, O sea of compassion, I am no better than a wicked animal on 2 feet, the most incorrigible parasite, a beginningless and endless reservoir of the greatest inauspiciousness. Nonetheless, I abide in fearlessness, repeatedly remembering the divine qualities of you, the endless ocean of affection, and the supreme friend. So we have to, gradually come to the stage of being able to handle something like this, and it will happen because this is, what he's summarizing is the nature of reality. That our final nature is that we can't do anything without serving Krishna. We're just really, it is really a feeling of emptiness. There's nothing there except Krishna, and Krishna sometimes is there and sometimes he's not there. This is like what actual reality is. But, simultaneously, the devotee knows that Krishna will always take care of him. So, underlying this transcendental relationship of sometimes separation, sometimes union, mostly separation actually, underlying it, undergirding it, or whatever, giving a foundation, is this feeling that Krishna will always protect, and that Krishna will, be with us in so many different ways and forms, and we have nothing to fear. Yamunacharya says, you become just completely fearless, and knowing that you will not neglect the surrendered souls who now stand before you. So anyway, on one hand we think we're not surrendered, which we know and feel, but at the same time we know by the grace of our gurus we're scraping the surface. There's something that is there by their grace, and because of that something, Krishna tells us repeatedly, and the great devotees like Yamunacharya and like Srila Sridhar Maharaj, who's organized this whole wonderful transcendental presentation to encourage people who are trying to surrender by showing us what is the reality of that state of consciousness. We don't have to worry. Krishna will take care of us, and the beginning feeling of emptiness that is kind of shocking, because in this world we're always full of ourselves, for want of a better description. We have just consciousness of thinking that ourselves are going to fulfill, and stuff that we come in contact with is going to fulfill us, and we have some kind of confidence in that, unfortunately. And we're just distracted in that way. But simultaneously we have hope, because here, like Yamunacharya says, and repeatedly, everywhere we find this assurance that Krishna will take care of us. And the bottom line is that what we have is really nothing. On the basis of who we are. We don't have anything, but our gurus have given us the potential for everything. So based on the shelter of the gurus, who are friends of Krishna, we do have connection with Krishna, and we will be protected by Krishna. Even though we may think, oh, we're not qualified, we can't do it. And at the same time, underlying that feeling is the realization that we'll always be okay. It doesn't matter up or down, or how terrible we're feeling, or whatever's coming to us in relation to how we're perceiving our existence at this time. It really doesn't matter, as long as we try to engage our energies in service to our gurus, and then that protection will always be there. Even if we have difficulty, even if we're not, the reality is, and we just have to tell ourselves this over and over again, because sometimes everybody becomes discouraged, that we're in a hospital. Don't be surprised if someone is sick. That's what we're doing. So we don't really worry about other people, except thinking in terms of how we can help to participate in the cure. And that's like the vision. Even when we talk to people who are outside, we're thinking, how can we talk to this person in such a way so that we'll stimulate their interest in reality? And how can we associate with the Vaishnavas, the people who really want this? How can we associate with them to encourage them and make them feel like this is the right thing? I have friends with me. It's so important to develop the relations that Rupa Goswami describes with the devotees. Revealing your mind to the devotees, and discussing confidentially what we're feeling in terms of our progress in Krishna consciousness. This is, we should be kind of living in that kind of shelter, and then exchanging gifts, accepting prasad, giving prasad. It's so actually the action of a devotee who's giving prasad to other devotees is like filled with transcendental potency, because the prasadam itself is potent, and the ideal of distributing prasad to other people with love, as Srila Rupa Goswami describes, is part of the whole thing that enables us to go on in Krishna consciousness. It's like sadhu sangha, that's what they talk about. And Rupa Goswami has clearly described to us what's involved with that. So we have a chance to be involved in that, and we should try to develop thinking in that way. How can I associate with the Vaishnavas in such a way so that I can participate in the gurus who are helping them to develop in Krishna consciousness? That's like the meditation for us. We want to be everybody's friend, and we want to be helpful. And simultaneously, as a result of that, so much help will automatically come to us by the grace of the devotees. Even unconsciously, Krishna works in amazing ways. Like Srila Prabhupada told us that when you live in a temple, it's like there's a big bag of rough stones being shaken up, and as they rub against each other, they gradually become smooth. So it's like the temple's a little intense, because the remnants of our ego come out, and we have to give them up in contact with the other devotees, and that's always a challenge, but it works. It works in a positive way so that we can develop and grow in Krishna consciousness. Anyway, Srila Guru Maharaj is teaching us the proper approach to remembering Krishna's kindness, citing Kulashekar Maharaj, now citing Jamunacharya, the last verse, Uddhava, amazing great Vaishnavas that see, like Guru Maharaj, who's has vision of every one of these verses and gives his own, amazing Sanskrit summary of, what is given by these, giving it to us, what has been given and spoken and conveyed, a manifestation of reality. That's what the Vaishnavas give. When they speak, it's like non-different than what is real, the real level of consciousness, that world of consciousness where everybody serves. They're in that world, and they give the vibration of that world. And not only that, but the vibration contains specific help for us, tailored for each one individually. Depending on where we're at in terms of our conditioning and all these different things, the sound vibration of the transcendental instruction of the great souls, if we sit there and hear it with a desire to receive, then it will work. It's like magic by the grace of our gurus. Each one of these slokas has something that's specifically there for each one of us. And Guru Maharaj is expert in giving us all these things contained, compacted together in like an amazingly powerful way. This is his, what do they call it? The masterpiece of the person, of the writer. What's that called? I forget. Anyway, I'll remember it. But this is like his masterpiece, no doubt about it. And other things are there. The Gita is there, beautifully done, no doubt. But particularly in terms of commentary and brilliant presentation, this book, Prapana Jivanamritam, stands out, no doubt. Okay. Jai Shri Prapana Jivanamritam ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Tirubhava Mahamahotsava ki jai. Jai. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj always, reminded us that he himself is feeling as a student. He's a student of his Guru Maharaj. And, that's like what he's telling us is that this is, our position. We're students. We're not like people who come to some kind of level of experience that is, or realization that kind of peaks and we become like masters. It's not like that. Devotees are, real devotees, genuine devotees are not, they don't feel themselves masters. They feel themselves students of their guru. And Srila Guru Maharaj was like the ideal student of his Guru Maharaj. I mean, if we listen to how he speaks and pick up on how he feels about his Guru Maharaj, you can see that his whole life, his whole existence is service to his Guru Maharaj in the humble position as only a student, even though, as far as we can see, he's the most developed Vaishnava that we've ever had contact with. I mean, it's, from our level of perception, it's hard to really say clearly that, but it sure seems like that. And Srila Prabhupada himself indicated that. What to speak of Srila Govinda Maharaj? Srila Prabhupada said, "He is my Shiksha Guru," and for me or for any of us, looking at the contribution of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, considering who he is, that he's saying he is my Shiksha Guru, what kind of amazing position is that? That's, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's stature is, so high in terms of, devotional development, no doubt about that. But yet at the same time, he's really thinking himself low. That reminds me of the time when, ISKCON had pulled away. For like 3 years, the GBC and everyone was coming to him and taking advice. But then when he told that the Acharya should not be under the control of, a committee, because he knows the position of Acharya. That's his understanding and realization that's come to his heart from his Gurudev. So he's giving a heartfelt understanding based on the request of Srila Prabhupada to help us. And, they rejected it and, became offensive. So some devotees came to Srila Sridhar Maharaj and said, oh, Maharaj, these people are making offense. It's, you know, they're offending a great Vaishnava. And Guru Maharaj said, offending a Vaishnava? Who is offending a Vaishnava? Probably we've all heard this, but to hear it again is, you know, really cool if we can, like, meditate on his amazing humility. And then he said, you know, who is this Vaishnava that's being offended? And the devotee said, well, you, Guru Maharaj, they're offending. He said, oh, I am not a Vaishnava. He really, you know, what is that? You know, we can't even understand that really. You know, because, you know, what is a Vaishnava? Vaishnava K, his Guru Maharaj has written. And Guru Maharaj, of course, and Srila Gurudev have, like, digested this in a perfect way so that they, you know, they understand and know what is their position in you know, emptying themselves, feeling like they're zero, but at the same time having everything. And this having of everything was so, you know, so apparent in the presentation of Srila Guru Maharaj. People were just stunned. And the first one who was stunned was Srila Bhakti Siddhir Goswami Maharaj, who was, you know, dear Krishna Maharaj in the time of Srila Prabhupada. He got sannyas from Srila Prabhupada, was a brahmachari for maybe 3 or 4 years, and then got sannyas. So he's been in a position of renunciation practically his whole life. And, you know, a particular, you know, when we look at our position in relation to, you know, what kind of body we have, what kind of mind we have, what kind of intelligence we have, we can understand that all this has been set up for us to, you know, to engage in service, to use that service by you know, by higher grace. So when we see people with amazing capacity, like Srila Goswami Maharaj, like Sripad Tyagi Maharaj, and others, Sri Yukta Vishaka and Sri Yukta Bhakti Lalita, and, you know, so many different Vaishnavas are manifesting amazing capacity in different ways. And so we can understand that kind of potency has come for the purpose of service. And not only that, but that it has come as a result of their sincere desire to, you know, to be engaged in service. You know, not to have something for themselves, but to utilize that for service. So when we see devotees who have, you know, amazing capacity, or, you know, some kind of powerful or beautiful position, we can understand that this is a gift for service. You know, somehow or other we all have had a destiny, even though it seems like, you know, we've accidentally stumbled into this. Most of us think like that, but the fact is, somehow or other, we accumulated sukriti in such a way so that we did stumble into it, or that we did, like, poof, be born into it, like, you know, some of the devotees. It's just, you know, it's not, it's all set up to give us a chance. And the whole connection with Sri Guru, you know, is, not only is it set up, but it's also, you know, our own free will is always involved. And we always have to try to choose in the right way, even though, you know, Krishna says in Gita, we're always making mistakes. That's like, we're hopeless in that way. You know, we constantly, you know, fall short and screw things up in different ways. But, you know, we've been reading how Krishna is so kind that he helps us. Guru Maharaj is introducing that. So anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's see what we're going to read. Okay. You want to read fossilism versus subjective evolution, or you want to read something else? I just thought I would open up and see what appears. And that was what came up. We could read Saints, Scriptures, and Gurus, Krishna Consciousness, Love, and Beauty. Why don't we read that? Oh, that sounds like Guru Maharaj. Well, it's all Guru Maharaj, but this is, you know, particularly what has really hit us and you know, touched our hearts and enabled us to you know, continue to participate in the you know, development of Krishna consciousness through you know, through learning from our God brothers and God sisters, and you know, directly developing in terms of understanding about how we can go forward in our service. Okay, so Guru Maharaj, this is, of course, like we said, Goswami Maharaj has compiled this based on talks of Srila Guru Maharaj. He recorded so many, and in fact, they're there, like 3 gigabytes of Guru Maharaj speaking, which we all should have and listen to. You know, sometimes I've gotten into listening to it every day, but then I get out of it, and right now I'm out of it. But I should be into it. So now that it's Guru Maharaj's disappearance, it's something for each one of us to think about how we can, you know, more come in contact with Srila Guru Maharaj and receive what's being given. It's openly giving so much, but you know, our reception is limited. Like that example, we have to tune our receivers to the proper frequency. And what's the frequency? The frequency is seva. So we have to like tune ourselves into you know, being servants. How I can help the Vaishnavas, how I can serve them, how I can you know, serve my guru in my you know, particular capacity. Okay, Krishna consciousness, love, and beauty. At the beginning of the 20th century, the Bengali poet Hemachandra wrote, "There are so many countries rising in prominence, this land, that land. Japan is a very small country, but is rising like the sun." This was, yeah, the turn of the century. The Japanese had defeated the Russians and had, you know, gained the northern islands of Japan, and their whole culture was like expanding and exploding based on worship of the sun and you know, worship of the emperor as representative of that supreme deity, the sun. Okay, so rising like the sun, Hemachandra says, but only India is under eternal slumber. When he mentioned the other parts of the world, he said, America is rising forcefully. The other parts of the world, he said, America is rising forcefully as if he is coming to swallow the whole world. Sometimes he is shouting as if with a war cry, and the whole world is shivering. His enthusiasm is so intense and great that he wants to snatch the world from the solar system and give it a new shape, a new molding. So Guru Maharaj says, America has been mentioned in this way by Hemachandra. In the same way, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj came to give the world a new shape through Krishna consciousness. And what was his aim? He was ordered to, you know, to come to the Western world by his Guru Maharaj. And his Guru Maharaj has attempted that, sending people to London. But, you know, Srila Prabhupada's realization of an understanding of his service led him to come to America, because America was you know, kind of leading the world in a social and cultural way. And he thought that if I can penetrate the society and culture of America, from there I can spread it all over the world. And, you know, how did he develop that vision? By pure, you know, full surrender to his Guru Maharaj. That's, Srila Guru Maharaj detected that kind of sentiment in Srila Prabhupada's poetry on the Jaladuta when he was coming to America. And not only that, Srila Prabhupada told that my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who we just talked about, Srila Prabhupada gave his whole existence to, he liked that Srila Sridhar Maharaj would prepare me. So the vision, we have to see that also. Even though, we want to emphasize the greatness and the purity of surrender of Srila Prabhupada, we also should emphasize the context of that surrender, that kind of service. It came in relation to his association with Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and the instruction that is like implicit in everything he says. It's like we were saying, his speaking is like the shlokas given by these great souls that he's showing to us. Uddhava, Jamuna Charja, Kulishekar, so many Vaishnavas. Everything that Srila Sridhar Maharaj says is like a shloka. And it can give us light. Okay. He said, this is what Swami Maharaj said, he once said, we must go there and build it in a new way with Krishna consciousness. So he was thinking, I'll enter into the social and cultural structure of America and begin to transform it with Krishna consciousness. And sure enough, he did, even though there was only a few thousand disciples, but practically every one of them was 24 hours a day working on spreading Krishna consciousness. So he was so empowered. Guru Maharaj saw he's empowered by Nityananda Prabhu himself. Now that's generally understood and generally known, but it's not often said clearly that it was Srila Sridhar Maharaj who had that type of perception. Okay, what is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness means real love and beauty. Real love and beauty must predominate, not selfishness or exploitation. So this is like, he's telling us what's the real thing. It's not exploitation, selfish grabbing of stuff or other people or things for ourselves, nor is it just pulling away from that in a mood of just giving it all up, renouncing it. That's not Krishna consciousness. We have to, it's difficult because in a way we have to withdraw, but at the same time we can't forget that the reality of what we're doing has to do with developing, real types of reciprocal exchange, ultimately with Krishna, but simultaneously that means with Krishna's devotees. It means we have to try to live in that way, not selfishness, but with a feeling of love and a feeling of, wow, what we've got is so amazing, so beautiful. And the people that I'm with are so amazing and so beautiful. Let me just come to know them better and better. I think that's really important. Okay, what is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness means real love and beauty. Real love and beauty must predominate, not selfishness or exploitation. Generally, whenever we see beauty, we think that beauty is to be exploited. But actually, beauty is the exploiter. Beauty is the master. And beauty is the controlling principle. Wow. I mean, what kind of, breakthrough realization he's presenting. People are going to art galleries and looking at paintings, and they're feeling something. People are outside looking at a garden of roses, and they're feeling something. People are looking at, other people, and they're feeling something. It's like something that's real. It's like, it's beauty. That's reality. And the Vaishnavas, we can begin to see like that and appreciate like that everything, coming from Krishna has as its essence deep, wonderful beauty. Krishna is the supreme beautiful, and we'll focus on him in full service. But simultaneously, we'll get to be with, other devotees who we, transcendentally hang out with. And what do? The cowherd boys, they go out and they herd cows and hang out and play, and and the servants are always engaged in working to serve. Like, who is that servant? We sing about the servant of Mahaprabhu who's in his house. Gee whiz. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, different moods: serving mood, friendship mood, parental mood, and loving mood, lover mood, beloved. These things are there, and the whole expression has to do with beauty and love, as Guru Maharaj is telling us. So it's like he's opening the door to like some kind of world that's different. That's not based on seeing things as objects of exploitation, but rather seeing things as in a subjective way, as coming from Krishna, and manifest as something that shows reality. Like there was just somebody posted a beautiful sunset, and some people were saying, younger devotees were saying, that's just Maya, it's this and that, and we have to just not look at that, not appreciate it, something like that. But I thought, no, it's like it's a beautiful sunset, but it's not just a material globe. It's not just a material experience. It's a sense of reality that's there behind that small perception that we have of beauty. It's like blasting out in front of us as a sunset. Blasting out in front of us as beautiful roses and beautiful trees, and so many things. It's just the reality is there. It's just we can't see it because we don't see it in the right context. We see it as exploitation. And here Guru Maharaj is teaching us that there's reality that is there in the conscious world, and we have to become conscious and see it and practice it. Not cheat and try to exploit it and use it for our own purposes, or just walk away. But see it. This is Krishna's world, and we can become a part of it. Maybe it's too much, but I don't think so. I think we have to begin to see things like that. Because who tells us? Our gurus tell us. Our Rupa Goswami tells us. We're not renunciates. Really, even though we take, some of us took sannyas and we're trying to live a role where we're just fully dedicated. But that's the point, is that we try to be fully dedicated. And how is that full dedication, manifest? It's manifest in teaching, instruction, living in such a way that we're trying to cultivate and develop this kind of real mood. And in developing loving exchange with the devotees, that's what ultimately we're supposed to do, and ultimately we have to do. Okay, so I'll just read the end of this. It's already late. I'm talking too much. And what is love? Love means sacrifice for others. We should not think that sacrifice is to be exploited by us. Who is to be the recipient of sacrifice? Is it our party? No. We are in the group of those who sacrifice themselves, the predominated negative party. I mean, what kind of amazing statement? Predominated negative party. You know, these kinds of compact realizations. You know, there's so much there in just a few words, and but we do see that kind of at least direction, sometimes directly and clearly, but in a more kind of indirect way. We see that in Srila Prabhupada's writings, but it comes to what Srila Prabhupada wrote comes to real clarity when we begin to see and understand what Srila Sridhar Maharaj has given to us. He's given us clarity. You know, Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyan Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitang Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. You know, I offer my deep respects to my Gurudev, who is Chakshu Unmilitam, who's like opened my eyes, awakened me to a new world. This Guru Maharaj is doing this. He's like, you know, he's starting to show us what reality is. Srila Prabhupada kind of pulled us out of unreality to some extent, at least got us going in the right direction. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj is like, in an amazing way of presentation through his surrender to his Guru. He's giving us so many keys to like real existence. The predominated negative party. You know, in other words, negatively, he always talks about negativity. I have nothing. I can't do anything. That's like reality. And why? Because why don't we do it? Are we in that position? Because we're totally predominated. We're totally under the control of a higher energy, and that energy is Krishna, expanded in unlimited ways. And now, even in our in the side of us that has material consciousness, we're still relating with Krishna in the form of his powerful material energy. But it's all Krishna, and it's all like love and beauty. And our role in that is to begin to enter into that reciprocal exchange with the Lord through our sacrifice. That's our actions and our work and our speaking and our mental process and our physical functions have to do with sacrifice in reality. Otherwise, in the material world, we're trying to make it just the opposite. But ultimately, we're all finally in that position of we have to sacrifice to someone. So many people aspire for finding that person to whom we can, sacrifice ourselves. It's just like the nature of of reality. So we're like driven in that direction in the material world. But the fact is, there's reality behind it, and that reality is Krishna. So we have to, in the midst of our misperceptions, we have to begin to direct ourselves, in a way that we begin to perceive things in the right way. Okay, we're the predominated negative party. Mahabhava's party. Whoa. That's like Mahabhava. That's the highest love. That's Srimati Radharani. And Guru Maharaj is saying we're in that party. Wow, oh my gosh. Guru Maharaj is like somehow or other bringing us to that kind of opportunity. If we think about it, if we look at it in in perspective to where we are now, it's just, it's unbelievable and amazing how we're have the opportunity to take shelter of someone of that, amazing capacity. And what is this capacity? His capacity is full surrender, full negativity, and specifically in relationship with his guru. He's a realized soul, but he's not like jumping over his guru and thinking, oh, I'm a realized soul, so now I'm going to, I forget what the term is, but begin to learn what my role is in Vrindavan. The Sahajas are thinking that. I can do this because I have a so-called guru who tells me I can do it. But the fact is, if we read Srila Rupa Goswami, if we read or hear from people who we know are real gurus, Srila Prabhupada told us to go to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Srila Sridhar Maharaj told us to go to Srila Govinda Maharaj. Srila Govinda Maharaj told us to go to Srila Acharya Maharaj, and also the Acharya Brinda. It's like it's meant to be like a magical combination of a reciprocal relationship, which enables these acharyas to grow and develop in terms of their service to Srila Govinda Maharaj. And that will, I have faith, will gradually develop and be seen. Okay. So, and who is the beneficiary? Love is the beneficiary. Everyone should contribute to the center, but no one should draw energy from there. Die to live, That's really like, what can we say? Die to live. Everything that we perceive as, useful, functionally necessary for ourselves, feelingly necessary, all these things are have to be like disposed of, and we have to begin to enter into that real kind of perception and real kind of relationship, which means the death of the false self. And that's like, woo. It's very difficult because over many lifetimes we've built so many shelters. Simultaneously we've got our devotion that's growing in us. Some of it's just a little sukriti, but others have devotion from previous lives that are growing and developing. Simultaneous to this, what really is, as our gurus say, I can't see it, but what we're told is the remnants of our conditioned attachment to the temporary world. And that those remnants, are simultaneously manifest in the bodies we have, the minds we have. Everything is like simultaneous to the development of inner Krishna consciousness and the manifestation of inner Krishna consciousness through qualities that we have that have come as a result not of our karma, but of our devotional sacrifice and desire. So it's a chinta beta tattva. Both are going on, both are there. Our material conditioning and our spiritual opportunity. It's like, it's beyond us. It's mind-blowing, but it's happening. And Guru Maharaj is like showing us what's happening around us. He's, just like painting a picture right in front of us. And it's difficult to see, but it's really right there. And, we will be able to see it. Even now we're just, in many ways so distracted and things. But by His grace and by what he's told us, or what Srila Prabhupada has told us, and particularly also what Srila Govinda Maharaj has told us, who's like the, that's the word, distillation of the instructions of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and not only Srila Sridhar Maharaj, but also Srila Prabhupada. Those instructions which open the door for access to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Srila Govinda Maharaj knows that, and knows the feeling of, of giving that kind of opportunity to the conditioned souls. So in that way, Srila Govinda Maharaj had Prabhupada's qualities, but simultaneously he had, the depth, of realization of a servant of that great devotee with, who has, even Saraswati Thakur said, he is, there's one man who knows what I'm trying to give. I don't think there's any other statement like that. And that man is Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So, we can understand from Saraswati Thakur, it's coming, no doubt. From Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's coming to Saraswati Thakur, no doubt. No doubt about Bhaktivinoda Thakur's realization. And then from Saraswati Thakur, it's coming to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, clearly. And, simultaneously coming to Srila Prabhupada, who, like, together are, working with us to grow in Krishna consciousness. Okay, with this spirit, we should combine and work for real love and beauty. So I'll just read the beginning line of this. I'm really going over time. And beauty will be victorious in the world. Love will be victorious in the world. We will sacrifice everything to see that banner of divine love fluttering all over the world. For a particle of that divine love will be able to keep peace and distribute peace in all directions. Just as fighting soldiers dedicate everything and give their lives so their countrymen will benefit in the future, we should sacrifice our lives and work to bring real peace to everyone. Yeah, this is the Vaishnava. They have something very valuable, and they know it. So realizing that, they naturally want to give it. Automatically. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj is expressing that. That actually, the potential of this, if people, actually surrender and take it, is that the world can be transformed. Not that we're thinking to transform the world, that's just kind of external. But the fact is, by consciousness, real change can be affected. Otherwise, by material manipulation, there's not going to be real change. Change in the economic, political structure, or improving the educational system, or on and on and on it goes. Different material adjustments. But here Srila Sridhar Maharaj is telling us, this is actually the way. If you want something good for others, do this. Okay. So we'll talk more about Srila Sridhar Maharaj later. We'll listen to a beautiful talk by Srila Govinda Maharaj about his glorious guru. And I think each one of us can kind of glorify Srila Sridhar Maharaj, how we've been affected by his kind presence in our lives. Okay, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Tirubhava Mahamahotsava Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai. And search for Sri Krishna reality, the beautiful Ki Jai. Or Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Umudita, you want to chant Hari Haraya?
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan